Raise your hand if you think that the American healthcare system is working. Raise your hand if you think the American healthcare system is not working. All right, let me rephrase the question. Raise your hand if you think the American healthcare system is working well. Anders, how many people are raising their hands?
None.
Raise your hand if you think the American healthcare system is broken. Raise your hand.
Majority, everyone.
Not a majority, virtually everybody in the room.
Yeah.
And
I can see behind that guy.
And that is, all right, question again. How many nations, wealthy nations in the world, do not guarantee health care to all people as a human right? Anybody know the answer? Which country? All right. Now, you're not going to hear much about that on corporate television. You're not going to hear much about that in the United States Congress. We're the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. 85 million of us are uninsured or underinsured. 60,000 die each year because we can't get to a doctor on time. That's the bad news. You know what the good news is? The insurance companies are making tens of billions of dollars every year denying you coverage.
It is a problem we are rather unique in having first-hand knowledge of.
It's 2025 and insurance just keeps getting worse. I just did 2 bilateral deeps and 2 bilateral tissue expanders for patients. And I've never had this happen before, but during the second deep, I got a phone call into the operating room saying that United Healthcare wanted me to call them about one of the patients who was having surgery today, who was actually asleep having surgery. And, said I had to call right now. So I scrubbed out of my case and I called United Healthcare. And the gentleman said he needed some information about her, wanted to know her diagnosis and whether her inpatient stay should be justified. And I was like, do you understand that she's asleep right now? And she has breast cancer. And the gentleman said, actually, I don't. That's a different department that would know that information. And I was like, well, she does need to stay overnight tonight. And you have all the information with you because I got approval for this surgery. And I need to go back and be with my patient now. But yeah, it's out of control. Insurance is out of control. I have no other words.
Ambulance call out, how much do you think that costs?
Zero payment.
Zero payment?
Yeah, zero payment.
No. It costs $2,500.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
you look. An inhaler.
$100.
Yeah, you're pretty close. It's a bit more.
120.
250 to 350.
For an inhaler?
Yes.
Man, so if you're poor, you're dead.
So 2 EpiPens. Okay. How much do you reckon they are?
$80.
$600.
$40.
I'm afraid not.
More?
More?
$100.
More.
150.
More.
250.
More.
Shut the fridge.
More.
£300.
Double it.
$600. What? Why?
That's a very good question.
$600.
Yeah.
This is how Europeans reacted to the healthcare costs in the United States of America.
Class politics in the sense of which side are you on? Are you going to stand with working families? Are you going to raise the minimum wage to a living wage or not? Are you going to fight to guarantee health care to all people or not? Are you going to demand that the wealthiest people start paying their fair share of taxes or not? Those are the issues. And no one cares what color you are, what your gender is, et cetera, et cetera.
You retweeted a post by Bernie Sanders that said, yes, we waste hundreds of billions a year on healthcare administrative expenses that make insurance CEOs and wealthy stockholders incredibly rich, while 85 million Americans go uninsured or underinsured. Healthcare is a human right. We need Medicare for all. That's not really going to happen.
And while very few fight for us to not live like this, the CEOs reign supreme. The next example of this absolute hellhole that we are living in because of rich people's greed, seeking to be a part of the 1% in the form of dangerous practices like privatized insurance.
I had to come back for the insurance because they informed me earlier this year I'm on COBRA. So I was like, I got to get my benefits on. started training.
She's actually not lying about that because we talked about that about 6 years ago. So you're actually telling the truth. You know, insurance is hard.
Insurance, you guys know what it's like. And let me tell you, I'm always at the doctor. So I need this insurance.
Laugh all y'all want. I personally find no humor in this. That's Venus Williams, Serena Williams' sister. She said that after we know of her career accolades. She will go down as one of the best American tennis players of all time. And just in case you're curious of where she did this and why, after defeating Peyton Stearns in Washington after a 16-month layoff, while being interviewed by Renee Stubbs, Venus Williams admitted she came back for insurance purposes. Understand how dystopian this is. As I stated, one of the best in representing the United States in the sport of tennis, a very affluent person at this stage. And she is talking about how she's on Cobra and she goes to the doctor a lot. She has to work after dedicating her career. And I'm not saying 45-year-olds shouldn't work. It's just a unique position to be in with sports. But it does say something, even with that unique position, that she has to go back because of privatized insurance and because of, even if not, how reckless these policies are in order to benefit some and not the majority. From People.com, Venus revealed she's had an ongoing painful struggle with fibroids, which left her laying on the floor in the locker room before one of her most iconic matches. She would tell NBC, "My symptoms were extreme pain. You know, getting so much in pain that maybe you throw up or you can't get off the ground. I missed practices because of that. Just, you know, hugging the toilet." She would add, "I live with an autoimmune disease, so I thought maybe it was autoimmune anemia or something like that. But really, it was what I was dealing with inside, which was fibroids." Then Venus was quoted as saying something we can all simply relate to in this country. You can be denied the best healthcare, no matter who you are, and that you have to be your own advocate. Hopefully, someone will see this interview and say, I can get help. I don't have to live this way. I end with this. There are so many people who want to leech off of our paychecks, and we pay into this healthcare system, and we pay into privatized insurance, and we are handcuffed to having a job, which also limits the amount of movability one might have in the workforce in order for them to pursue other ventures. They are a lot of the time dedicated to staying in one job, one field, one industry, etc., because they need the insurance. And the insurance will try to screw them over at every single turn. Quick story. And shout out to my mom and dad, because they fought insurance. I believe it was Blue Cross tooth and nail. And I've told this story before, but I know there are new subscribers, so I might as well just share it again. When I was younger, I looked very different because I had a lower jaw that overdeveloped and an upper jaw that underdeveloped. And we were told that I would have devastating migraines. It would impact my head in many ways because it would just lead to a lot of pain. And it was about a 6.5 hour surgery. I was wired shut, I believe, for 7 to 8 weeks. My parents could, I'll text them after this. And I ate through a straw, right? And the insurance fought us on everything. On a surgery that I needed. Everything. Now I want to be clear. I am grateful for my health, and everyone should be grateful for their health, because as we introed the story, I want to give a shout out to her as well. Dr. Elizabeth Porter was talking about how one of her patients has breast cancer, and United Health called them and, in my view, tried to fight her on a hospital stay for her patient. And what drives me insane is I potentially could have lived with my condition, and these people cannot. They need the medical care. And the fact that we have this blockade on something that most countries do not have and will not have because healthcare is a human right is preposterous. It shows how broken our system is, how our lawmakers continue to support this broken system for many others to just take money out of our pockets and demand that we pay for things that are free in other countries, if not at a very, very low cost. Healthcare is something that should not be negotiated. It should be given. Because when humans are the ones that create these breakthroughs in order to best help their fellow man, we should not have someone step in and say, I can make money off this. I should take advantage of people for me to afford my 5th yacht. It's not a world that I believe in. There should be decency and humanity in all of this, especially in the healthcare industry. And until we have, unfortunately, more organizing, more coalitions, and more elected officials who we put in office to support what I am stating, it will never, ever change.